everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of my application of the Avlon Texture Release system. um, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So this is me after 30 minutes. I am removing the cap, and I'm gonna sit for like about 5 minutes just to cool down, and then I'm gonna go back and rinse my hair out for another 3 minutes, and then that will take us into the next process. So here I'm getting ready to apply the thermal protector to my hair as I get ready for the blow drying process. Now this took a little while, and so I am actually going to speed up the video. What I want you to observe though was that after I applied the thermal protector, and then I went on to the process of detangling the hair so I could put it in smaller sections for me to blow dry it, you can notice that the comb was actually going through the hair much easier than it would if I had not done the process. And for me, this was really surprising, and I really liked that. It wasn't 100% soft, as you will see during the process of me detangling it, but it was 100% better than it would have been had I not gone through the whole process. So as I said, I am actually going to speed up this portion of it because this video is quite long, but I actually wanted to do it in real time so that you could just get a feel of what it is, the process was like. So that's me actually going through. That's the first section, and as you can see, the comb is going through it. It does stop mostly at the end, but for the most part the detangling process was a breeze in comparison to how it is for me normally if I had not done this process. So let's go ahead and speed up this portion. Thank you. So here I'm getting ready to blow dry my hair. I finished detangling it. I put it in smaller sections, and this took me a while. For one, the comb attachment was a little bit too small, and so it kept coming off, and I have to stop every few minutes just to put it back on. Another thing was that if you notice where my hand is, or I'm holding the dryer, for some reason it got very hot, down there, and so again I have to like stop and cool my hands off and then start again. So for me, the entire process, this was one of the part of it that I really didn't enjoy, and it's not because of the system itself, but it's just because I just did not have the right tools to work with. So looking forward, um, the next time I do this, I'm going to make sure that I have the right equipment to work with. But this is really a learning process for me, and I just feel that going forward, that the next time I do this, it would be much smoother than it is now. I'm just going through the process, and I'm going to learn from my experience. But as you can see, that's me, the first section, and you can see that it's quite nice. It's elongated, it's light. So this is the end of the blow drying process. That's the final results. The hair felt very coarse at this point. I am not sure if that is as a result of the product that's on it. That's what it looks like from the back. I am badly in need of a trim, which I am going to do before I actually start the flat iron process. But overall, I was very, very satisfied with how it looked after the blow drying process, despite the challenges that I experienced. At this point, I am getting ready to go into the flat iron process, but when I felt the hair, it still felt, like I said, it felt a bit coarse, and I felt like the roots still needed just a little bit more blow drying just to straighten it. But what I decided to do was to use my hot brush to, just to make it a little bit more softer, and also to reduce the amount of passes that I would have to make on the hair. I know they say if you want it bone straight, you do up to 7 passes. If you don't want it to be bone straight, you do 4. I did not want it to be bone straight, so I decided to go for 4 passes. But I felt that I still needed to just do that one additional step just to make the process a bit easier. There I am applying the heat protector to the hair before I actually go into the process of just brushing it out with my hot brush, or hot comb if you want. It's more a brush than a comb. Yeah, I just felt that I needed to do this step. It's not a part of their process, it's not something they recommend. It's just something that I added to the process because I felt it would make it a bit more easier for me to handle my hair. And indeed it did work. It got to the root and got it a bit softer as I prepared for the flat iron process. So here I'm done. Well, I'm almost done with the hot comb, just doing one final pass. But as you will see, it felt so much better after I was done with that process. It was lighter. I still struggled a lot with the root. The roots just, I don't know, I just have very thick hair, and so that's the major challenge that I had with just getting the root, soft, so that the flat ironing process would be so much easier. But like I said, it's a learning experience, and that's what the box looked like. It's flowing. It was a lot lighter than it was before because I added that step to it. Having completed the part where I went over it with the hot brush, I was just going through it again with my comb. It was going through a lot easier than it did before. I still struggled again, as I said, with the roots. I just was not satisfied with it. But all in all, it's a work in process. I'm getting ready here to put it in smaller sections so that I can start the flat iron process. As you can see, I badly need a trim, and that is something that, of course, I plan to do. One thing I need to stop here to explain is that for me, the flat iron process, again, like the blow drying process, I really did not enjoy this portion, and you will see it on my face. The flat iron that I was using, I got burned a couple of times, and so for me this part was really very uncomfortable. Again, it's not the texture release system, it's just the tools that I had at the time to work with. Learning a lot of lessons. Feel that next time around I will do much better. I will make sure that I'm more prepared. But if you see my face, it's because I just wasn't handling the flat iron process well, and I just got burnt a couple times. Nevertheless, I still persevered and I completed it. That's me just adding the, oh my goodness, I lost my thought. That's me just adding the heat protectant. And one thing I can tell about the heat protectant too is that it was a bit oily, on the oily side. But when I did the first 4 passes, because I decided only to do 4 passes, not 7, I really liked the result. I was afraid to get to my roots because, as I said before, the iron kept burning me. It just wasn't a good tool to be working with. Another thing I noticed was that the heat protectant really gave it that silky feeling. Remember how I said that before, it was very coarse. Once I started flat ironing it, that coarseness reduced dramatically. It really did. So that's me feeling it. As you can see, it landed my face. I was quite pleased with the results that I got. Yes, so let's continue. So that's the final results after I completed the flat ironing process. Like I said before, it really wasn't an enjoyable time for me because, for one, as I said before, the iron just kept burning me and I didn't know what I was doing. I just wasn't comfortable with the whole process, but I still felt that the results turned out well. I did only 4 passes. That's me just looking at my edges. They're breaking slightly as a result of me just having my hair in up, in a bun or a ponytail most of the time. But overall, I felt like the results were worth it. It was a long day. It was a long process. I felt like um, I could have done a lot of things better. For one thing, as you will see, I after I was done with the flat ironing process, I decided to put some curls in there, and the curls came out really nice. It wasn't perfect, but I could live with it. But then I decided to wrap the hair and put that plastic wrap thing around it and sit on. And I sat under the dryer for 15 minutes. But when I came out, my curls were completely destroyed, and I was a bit disappointed. But in the end, you will see the final results because I went back in and I added the curls again. So that's one thing I will do differently the next time. Once I curl it, I'm just going to leave it alone. So here I'm getting ready to start curling it, and I was so terrified of that flat iron. It's a monster. It just burns you. But it was the only thing I had on hand to use, so I just used what I had at the time. But my curls, they weren't, like I said, they weren't perfect, but they were decent. So let me just stop chatting so you can see what I'm talking about. I know that the video is a bit long, but I really wanted to do it in real time. So if you just feel like, what, this process is going to be taking too long, feel free to skip to the next section. But thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and stay tuned for the follow-up videos on how I'm actually maintaining the hair. And I'm also going to be doing my daughter's hair, which is twice my length. So that, again, I will share with you. But please like and subscribe, and share this video with anyone else with a 4C ear who just might find it helpful. Thank you. Bye bye. Here again, that's me adding the IC ear polisher. That's another thing that I would not repeat the next time. I felt that I added too much of that to it, but I don't know why I did, but I just added too much. And in retrospect, I should not have done that because the heat protectant thing, it was quite oily. Another thing I observed afterwards, guys, was that my scalp was very dry and it was really it was really itching me. And even though the ear seat was silky and it was shine, it's still I was still getting that kind of coarse feeling to it, so I don't know if it's because of the thing that's on it, but it felt nice, but it still felt coarse. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. I know that when I saw on YouTube other persons do it, I didn't get the impression that it was course. I saw this silky thing going on with them, but I don't know if it's because I did it and because of my inexperience, and I might have missed something, but that's what I got. But I just didn't like the fact that days afterwards I just have that dry scalp, like dandruff itchy thing going there. So hey, if you have tried it and you've had that experience, you can just comment down below and let me know. But that's what I experienced. And remember, I'm just sharing my experience using this system for the first time, because I have very thick hair, and I was just looking for something to make life a bit easier for me. I was tired of wigs and wash and go. I just wanted that versatility to just enjoy my hair without the hassle, the stress. So this was me getting ready to wrap the hair with the saffron paper. I don't know if it's saffron, but you know what I'm talking about. We call it cling wrap. So I was getting ready to wrap it, because once I saw on YouTube where someone did it and sat under the dryer and the curls came out really nice. It had that nice kind of look, but as you can see after this, it really flopped for me, and this is not something I'm going to repeat. But it was cool. It was a good experience just trying it out. You in life, you learn from your mistakes. So I really learned from that. I sat under the dryer for 15 minutes, and then I came out, and the results were not what I expected. And like I said before, this was what happened after I, went under the dryer, and after wrapping it, I was a bit disappointed, all the burn that I got and all of that, and my curl just flopped. But lesson learned. So, as I said before, all I did was I went back in and I recurled it. But it's one thing I love, but even though the curls fell, it still had that movement, it still had that bounce. As you can see me just basking in it and really enjoying that. So that's the one thing I can tell you, it does give the bones, and the shine was really, really beautiful. And of course, the comb was just going through it. I loved it. I really do. I loved it. I loved it. So here, after that disappointment, I went back in and I redid my curls. And of course, as you can see, the results are beautiful. So yeah, that's my experience with